Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. It is fantastic to have you here as ever.
Because today is part 5 of filing on the sword breaker. We've been filing this whole time.
I think you mean week 5.
Week 5 of filing on the sword breaker. We've just been filing for several lifetimes at this point, which, don't worry, there's going to be some of that in today's episode.
No way. Filing?
Believe it or not, there is more filing to be done on the teeth of the spine of the sword breaker before we jump into a lot of work on the guard, hopefully.
So you're gonna be taking a good bite out of that project today. Really getting your teeth stuck into it. Anyway, before we jump into the video, we would like to thank today's sponsor, which is Harry's. Harry's, it's all about making sure you gentlemen out there are able to get a good close shave without breaking the bank and without the hassle of needing to go to the store to buy razors. It's no fun.
It's no fun, especially for people in our position where, you know, people with actual facial hair, if they don't shave, they get that scruff going on. It's all right. Nobody cares. They're like, oh, that looks purposeful and fashionable.
Whereas if people like us don't shave,
people boo us in the streets. They throw garbage at us. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not a good look. So we got to make sure we stay on top of it. You might have noticed I've looked very scruffy and terrible in the past with my peach fuzz. Thankfully, Harry's has come to the rescue for us because 60 years ago, their founders bought a factory in Germany so they could solve the problem of overpriced razors and people that can't grow decent beards feeling embarrassed to actually go and buy real razors. They solved that problem because for $3, you can get this starter set. This starter set is insane. The razor handle, it has this beautiful textured rubber grip to it, super nice to hold onto. You get a 5-blade razor cartridge, foaming shave gel, and a handy little travel case that you can put your razor in to protect the blades. One of my favorite things about this razor is just how flexible it is. You know, when you're shaving, it just conforms to your face so well. But I also love that there is an additional blade here, super handy for giving your sideburns the old trimmerooski, as well as coming up under your nose, getting those little detail areas. This is a phenomenal quality razor. It is lovely to shave with, and you can get that entire set for $3 when you go to harrys.com/Alec. So be sure to go and get that. That's just a phenomenal deal. I mean, there's no reason not to do that. $3, you gotta do it. Check it out. It's a hell of a deal. Thank you, Harry's, for sponsoring this episode, keeping us clean shaven, noticing that we needed it. Thank you guys for supporting our sponsors. We're gonna jump right in.
All right, I'm gonna take a quick break from working on the blade of the piece and all those spines and fun things. We're gonna go ahead and rough out a little bit of the inside material of the D-ring of that guard. So I've got it here in the mill, and I'm gonna go ahead and take this cutter and just kind of cut around on the inside there and get that material out, because there's a lot of material in there right now. Too much to hog out with the die filer. So we're gonna go ahead, fire up this bad boy, and get to work. Alright guys, we've got the guard fixtured up in the mill, and the reason for that is that this thing is a bit chunky right now, so it needs to go get its summer bod on, lose a little weight off of the D-ring there. We're just gonna shave it down about 50 thou off either side, and then we'll move on to filing because we don't want it to be super boring like this. We want it to have some nice, sexy curves to it. Gucci, guys, we got it all milled down. Not all the way, actually. That was a lie. I just lied to you just now. Not all the way. It's time to go into the grinding room and use some contact wheels to thin this out and to get some nice swoops in there, because right now it's looking awfully blocky and square, and that is not how we want it to look. We want it to look swoopy and curvy. So I'm gonna hop in the grinding room, take off some of this material. I ran into a little bit of a big issue. I don't use rotary handpieces very much, and well, that burr really got away from me and carved a pretty deep groove pretty dang quickly. So I need to have a think about how exactly I want to get this fixed, because right now that line is way off. It is nowhere close to where it needs to be, and so I think I'm gonna have to work everything down by a pretty good amount to make it still look good and proportional. So I'm gonna have a think about that, and then we're gonna jump back in and probably end up just thinning this down to get rid of those weird lines, but we will see. I'll keep you updated. I'm gonna have a think about this. Alright guys, so I found something interesting out when I compared the drawing that I did to the actual guard, and that is that the line that I thought was in the wrong spot is actually in the right spot, and the line that I thought was in the right spot is actually in the wrong spot. And that's because this whole pentagon here in the center is a little bit oversized right now compared to the drawing, and so we need to work it down in every dimension to get all of those facets to be the same length and nice and even. And it's still a little bit thick in this dimension as well, so we've got a little bit of room to work, which is nice, but we're still gonna have to grind off both sides there and bring this down to a at least less of a swell out than it was, which is too bad because it was gonna be kind of cool like that. It'll still be pretty freaking sweet though. I'm not too worried about it. I think it's gonna end up looking really, really nice. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into the grinding room, zip that off real quick, and get back to filing. Alright guys, we have done the most redonkulous amount of file work humanly conceivable. Now time for a little bit of fun machining. I'm gonna go ahead and carve ourselves a little tang slot in this bad boy so that we can start to fit up the blade to the handle. Now that won't be done completely for a little while, but it's gonna be nice to do that before we move on to thinning out these quillions. We want to have that full thickness to support on there, so I'm gonna go ahead, slap this bad boy in the mill, and cut ourselves a little slot. I'm gonna go ahead and take this mild steel plate and drill and tap a couple 1/4 holes so that I can hold it down to that plate in a pretty similar way that I held it down to this 1-2. Alec?
It's okay, 7 minutes, like 40 seconds left, and I'll be ready. I'll be done.
All right. Trying to center punch these holes, drill them out, tap them out, and then make sure that we've got some screws that are going to hold this down nice and tight. Well, we've got ourselves one dirty, roughed in guard slot here, which is pretty exciting.
That's very cool. This thing looks awesome. This is gonna be such a cool piece. You know, to see this start to take shape like this is getting extremely exciting. So I'm pleased with how much awesome progress you've made, Will. This is looking really good, and I appreciate you taking the helms on this episode. I've been busy doing some other stuff, and we're very excited to keep cracking on. This is going to be a great piece, a great, you know, hopefully art piece and real great celebration of craft, like the saber, like the stiletto dagger, like those things. We want to jazz this thing up nicely. So thank you guys for following along. As we round out the video, quick note: be sure to go to the link in the description, harrys.com/Alex, so you can get that starter set for $3.
I've been using it. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's an incredibly close shave. Makes my face feel even more smooth than it usually feels, which is saying something.
So be sure to check that out. Thank you, Harrys, for sponsoring the video. Pleasure as always having you all here. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.